Okay, so welcome back. And now what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk more about place value and how to write numbers and then how to read them as well. And then we'll do some examples. So in this, on the board here, I've went ahead and put in the place values. Now our numeral system is a place value system. So the place value is very important. It will also help us remember how to do the arithmetic. It'll help us better understand numbers. And like I said, to do the mathematics or the arithmetic easier. Okay, even though you're not going to find that in a technical book or blueprint, but it does. Okay, here's the breakdown. So we start, this is a decimal point, we'll talk about that later, but we start with the ones place. So the very first place value is the ones. And then it goes to tens, and then the hundreds, thousands, right? So notice the first group here, ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. I think it's, yeah, okay. Hopefully I didn't misspoke, but it's ones, tens, hundreds. These are, this group of three we call the units. Okay? Now notice how this pattern repeats itself. Because now what we do is in the fourth place value is called the thousands, and then it goes to 10,000s, and then the 100,000s. Okay? And then this group of three is called the thousands. And then the next group is called millions, and it starts with millions, like you could say 1 millions if you want, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. So it seems like this pattern changes. So when we name numbers, we're going to use the same idea, and we name them from left to right like we're reading a book. Okay. Also notice that there's going to be commas, and these naming structures, these magnitudes, if you will, help us decide where the commas go. So we have a comma that goes between every group of three. And over here, if we use the billions, right? So the next one would be the billions, and then trillions and quadrillions and so on. So every group of three, we go up in one magnitude, and so on. Okay. Now, as far as the comma here, if it's just the thousands, let's say you have 1,236, then the comma is optional. I always put the comma, but I guess when you're in the thousands, like 4 digits, if your number is 4 digits long, so it's here, then the comma, I guess, is optional. I always put it, but you'll find this in most textbooks. They'll drop the comma if it's just a 4-digit number. Okay. So now, using this naming structure, using the way this pattern works, we can name any number. Now, let's do an example. So, for example, this is 14,000. Right? Notice how I grouped this together. 14 what? 14,000. Right? I didn't do 10,000, 4,000, right? I said 14 thousands, right? There's 14 thousands. So it's 14,237. Notice that I did not put an and in there anywhere. I did not say and, right? 7. I did not say so do not say 14,237. Okay, we don't put the and in there. Okay, properly speaking, we don't put an and in here anywhere. So it's 14,237. That's the way we write it. And we would write that. So we write 14,000 and we would put the comma in there, by the way. Even when we write it out, we put the comma to separate the groups, just like up here, just like in here. So 14,000 200 30 and 30 37 is hyphenated, so it's 30 hyphen 7. So 237. And that's the way we write it out. And that's the way we say it. Okay, and notice that again, the place value. The 7 is in the ones place, the 3 is in the tens place, the 2 is in the hundreds place, the 4 is in the thousands place, and the 1 is in the 10,000s place. Okay? Now, even if we get to really big numbers like this one, we would name it the same way. Okay, so this would be, well, look at, this is the units, thousands, millions, billions. Okay, so we would basically say 47 billion, so I use the comma, right, to separate. So 47 billion, 653, right? We don't say 653. We say 653 million, 290,866. And that's the way we would write it. So we would say 47, oops. 47. And by the way, any numbers above 29, any numbers above 30 are hyphenated. The only 2-digit numbers that are not hyphenated are the teens, right? From 11 to 19, and then 21 to 29 are not hyphenated. But the rest of these numbers are hyphenated. So 47 billion, comma, right? And then we write 653 million, so 653, right? So 50, oops, keep wanting to go to numbers. 53, notice it's hyphenated. 53, what? 653 million, and then a comma. The next group is 290, what? 290,000. So I'm going to write 290,000. Comma 866. 800. Oops. 66 hyphenated, right? Okay, and that's the way we would write the numbers out as words. And notice this is the way we do it on our checks too. Now the only thing we don't put is the commas, but when we write out a number on our checks and things, or on a deposit slip or withdrawal slip, this is what we're doing pretty much. Okay, we're writing out it in words. And now you can go the other way too. Right, so we'll do some examples of going the other way too, but this is the gist of it, okay? Have a great day.